The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory be to you, O Lord.
At that time Jesus said, "Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you are like whitewashed tombs, with outwardly appearing beautiful, but within they are full of dead men's bones and all uncleanness. So you also outwardly appear righteous to men, but within you are full of hypocrisy and iniquity. Woe to you, scribes and the Pharisees, hypocrites! For you build the tombs of the prophets and adorn the monuments of the righteous, saying, If we had lived in the days of our fathers, we would not have taken part with them in shedding the blood of the prophets. Thus you witness against yourselves that you are sons of those who murdered the prophets. Fill up then the measure of your fathers." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise the Lord Jesus Christ.
Today we can hear the sounds of disappointment in the tone of our Lord Jesus Christ. Today we can hear the frustration that is coming from one who was revealed to be God, revealed himself to be God, and declared himself to be God, and truly and sincerely is and forever our God. How can God become frustrated at the activities of mere mortals? It is because we are not just merely mortals, actually. The position we occupy is meant to be the position of gods. I have always wondered, what does it take to be a god? And I have seen it in all the examples that there are. It's taking responsibility for creativeness, taking responsibility for development, taking responsibility for bringing about goodness, protection, nurturing, building, caring, protecting, guiding, guarding, teaching, taking the responsibilities for this. Essentially, what God is that we are able to work, and that our work will visibly generate what we make for peaceful coexistence, continuous survival of the species, protection of the innocent ones, emphasis on what makes us grow and develop rather than what destroys us. If I'm to call God God, it's because it is evident in nature, in all that He created. He never sent a plant to become without making arrangements for the survival of that plant. Nor did He send any being to become without making necessary arrangement for the survival of that being. And so we are meant to follow in that footstep. So it's the reason why we can see God being frustrated as a result of our mortal activities. But let us have this very, very much clear. Those who are supposed to build, those who are supposed to create, those who are supposed to work for creativity are themselves folding their hands, maintaining themselves, promoting outward show, but with no growth and development happening. I take us back to St. Paul's in the first reading. He says, "He who does not work should not eat." And we should not associate ourselves with idle people. He who does not work should not eat. So let us take this as a foundation. Because there are lots of institutions, especially church institutions, that are basing their activities on prayers. We really need to understand that prayers are actions are not mere words. But we have taken prayers to be mere words, where we lock ourselves in a particular place and keep praying for all eternity without moving a hand to be involved in the work that will make good things happen. When St. Paul said, "He who does not work will not eat," he was not making a policy for punishment. He was merely saying that that's actually the natural thing that should happen. If I don't plant, I will not reap. If I don't cook, I will not eat. If I don't work, I will not provide. And so we take this as it is to rub the situation as we experience it in Nigeria today. We are all praying for Nigeria in distress. We have been praying that prayer as far back as in the 90s, either 1992 or 1993. And then we graduated to prayer against bribery and corruption in Nigeria. We have been praying that prayer as far back as 1996, 1997. Our experience of these two actions, dear brothers and sisters, have shown that with these prayers, the conditions we were as at the time we started these prayers had worsened. And we could talk about an increase of every single evil we are praying about today over 700%. Prayer for Nigeria in distress. In the 90s, we are more in distress now. Prayer against bribery and corruption in Nigeria. In the 90s, we are far more into it now. So are we trying to accuse God that God does not hear our prayers? Or we are the ones ourselves that are limited in spiritual creativity? And now there is a prayer that has been inaugurated for this end to insecurity in this country. As long as we are in this country, and it's the same mouth of people who have been praying and pray against bribery and corruption and prayer for Nigeria in distress, as long as we are still the ones with the same style, with the same attitude, that are going to pray this prayer against insecurity, in the next 10 years, insecurity is going to quadruple. I mean, that is if we would even be in existence to pray the prayer. It is only someone who has mental deformity that continuously repeat failed activities of the past in the present without any intention of upgrading or of creating more or developing new skills. So here it is. If we don't work for peace, we will not have peace. If we pray for it without working for it, we will not have peace. Just as St. Paul did not advise that we should pray for food in order for us to eat. But he says we should work in order for us to eat. If we don't work for unity, we will never have unity, no matter the amount of prayer. If we don't work against insecurity, we will never be free from insecurity. We cannot give what we don't have. And it robs every other dimension of the Nigerian problem today. We are building churches and gathering people inside to pray. I expect us to start building fortifications. I expect us to start building defense system, because the oppressors are most tempted when they see their victims or their potential victims free of charge for molestation. But when their potential victims seem to have the means of self-defense, the temptation in the oppressor is reduced. But we are screaming everywhere that Christians are being persecuted. We are screaming everywhere that Muslims are trying to take over the country. I think they have the right to do whatever they want to do, because no one is holding us or withholding our rights from doing what we are meant or supposed to do that we are not doing. I see lots of church resources, Christian resources diverted into enterprises that do not grow the strength, the confidence, and the development of our children. And then we are talking about prayers. So we have a lot of work to do. And St. Paul has given us that signal. We need to start thinking. We have to work. Our prayers are meant to energize our work rather than prayers in itself. So the Lord calls us once more to become the gods that we are meant to be. We are meant to repair. We are not meant to just be like flowers that adorns itself and that's all they have to offer. We have been given the opportunity to change the evil that surrounds us while we are still alive. It is one of the greatest reasons why our lives are valuable. To be able to change evil to good. To be able to fight for truth. To be able to hold on the light and not making it dim. To be able to build and to nurture. To develop and to create. To care and to protect. And to be concerned about the less privileged. It is one of the greatest value of our lives. We must start thinking about working the true work of creativity and development. We cannot say less of this because it is the only problem that there is in Nigeria. The evil people in Nigeria are not our problems, but are the good people who, so-called good, they have been defined, do not lift up a finger to be involved in goodness.